Thanks, Pali. Now, Sandras Phiri is a leadership expert, an entrepreneur, and the director of Startup Grind. He has lectured at universities such as Oxford, UCT, and Stellenbosch. He joins us now to talk about the importance of leadership skills in the business space. And if you've got any questions for Sandras, please head over to our social media platforms using the hashtag Afternoon Express. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Janine.
It's such an amazing topic to be discussing because I think if you look at our country, if you look at business, leadership is always, I think, the most essential need. Why do you do the work you do?
I do the work I do because I feel that it actually makes a big difference because, as you rightly put it, leadership is critical.
Yeah.
Whether it's in business, whether it's in government, whether it's in families, in society, leadership is very critical because everything starts and ends with leadership.
Yeah.
And the organization will grow to the level of the leader.
Where do you think a lot of small businesses go wrong in terms of establishing their own identity and then surviving? Because, you know, business, you can start a business, it can live for a year,
yes,
and then those little teething issues end up killing it more often than not.
I think for the most part, all entrepreneurs believe that their business will survive.
Yeah.
And when they say a certain percentage is going to fail, we think it's the other people in the other percentage are going to fail. But I think where they go wrong is they stop listening to the customers. Yeah. So initially you start out listening to customers and giving them what they want, but you remain stuck there and the market would have shifted and you're still doing the same things.
Yeah.
So when you get to that point, you need to talk to your existing customers and the customers that left you.
Yeah, it's amazing how difficult it is.
Yes.
But I think once you survive past a certain mark, then your business can live. How do you teach leadership? How do you teach entrepreneurship? Because that's quite difficult.
It is quite difficult. I think there are certain people who have that leadership, entrepreneurship, born with it because of the personality type, but you can also teach people. And there is a structure on how you teach that.
Yeah.
Also, most importantly, it's also to just practice. So it's not a pure science, it's not a pure art, it's a practice. And that's something that Peter Drucker said.
Yeah.
And you learn more by doing and by learning about yourself and learning about other people and being very determined on what you want to achieve, but flexible on the method that you take to achieve that.
That's brilliant advice because I think sometimes business is difficult, and especially in our economic climate, I think it's very difficult. And it's easy to be broken down. And I think it's easy to look at other people and think, oh, they just have it, or it's meant for them, and there's the haves and the have-nots. But I think if you see success as something that can be achievable just by doing little things every day, like consistency.
Absolutely.
What kind of advice would you give to people with small businesses that are just struggling to get that edge?
I think it's one of the biggest things is to be patient.
Yeah.
Because it takes 10 years, right,
yeah,
to become an overnight success.
Yeah, it does.
So a lot of times people just look at one person and not look at the person and what they're doing now, not looking at the time that is taken to be there. So one of the things that's critical is that to stay the course. The other thing is also to maintain your position. So sometimes people give up too quickly. It's like they want to play football and they don't want to pick a position.
Yeah.
Because look, if you pick a position and get really good at that, people will know you for that. But if you keep moving, you won't touch the ball, and also people want to pass the ball to you, won't know where to find you.
It's a classic story of people giving up just before they make it to the top. And you know why? It's actually like people go into businesses thinking that they're going to make money, they're going to become financially independent. You don't actually make money when you first start a business for a very, very long time,
That's right. You can say that again.
It's hard, but thank you so much for being here and for sharing all of your amazing wisdom with us on the show. We're very grateful for it. Let's see what South Africa has to say.
Absolutely. Consistency is key. Now, we've asked you on social media if you've got any questions for Sandras, and we've got Theodore Buffles, who asked, what kind of life tools must one have to make it that far? And how do you make sure you keep those tools?
I think one of the important things to have would be people that hold you accountable and people that can always make sure that you're staying the course. Because sometimes you think you're doing the right thing, but without a mirror, without a sounding board and people that you respect, that would you can go astray. And so it's usually difficult to maintain that as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. But knowing who to take advice from.
Yes, absolutely.
Because not everybody's advice is going to be helpful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the worst type of advice is actually like free advice that everybody's just giving
Exactly. Thank you so much for being here. It's really lovely having you on the show.
Thank you.
With that being said, after the break, we chat to Tsepo, the gene maker, about his thriving business. See you after the break.